Hey there fans, welcome back to Richard's Toy Room once again for a model kit review and build. Well, today we're going to start on this 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona, or just Dodge Daytona as they're calling it on the box. There's some interesting things on this to start with. It says it's a skill level 2, but then you look down here and it says it's a skill level 3. And then it says, let's see, where is it? I saw it on here somewhere. Oh, here it is. On the bottom, it says molded in white. But on the side, it says molded in red. So go figure. And I'm not even sure if I'd call that red. It looks more like orange to me. Like that. Unless it's me, that doesn't look like red to me. It looks like orange. Anyway, the other side of the box is a side view of the car. But I had a bad feeling about this, as Han Solo likes to say. Or to paraphrase Han Solo. When I looked at the kit, I think I confirmed my fears that this is just a repop, reboxing with a few added parts of the infamous Dukes of Hazzard Charger, which is a complete piece of crap. In fact, I bought one a few years back. I opened it up and I looked at it and looked at a few of the parts and tried to fit a couple together, and I took it back to the store. That's how bad it was. Well, this one's not going back to the store. I got it on vacation at a store that's not around here, so we're going to see what we can do with it. So before we look at the instructions, let's take a look at the decals. They actually look pretty cool. You got 3 different colors for the bumblebee stripe, or whatever you want to call it, that goes around the hindquarters, and a couple of license plate, different license plate options, and then I think this is something for the air cleaner here. I'm not 100% sure. Instructions is one of those giant fold-out ones. I don't know, I could take it or leave it, I guess. I've seen worse. This whole page here is just pretty much useless information to me anyway. I guess some people might like it. And then you got one big fold out here of the first 5 steps. You got 3 different engine options here, but they don't give you 3 separate engines, so you gotta choose which one you want. There's no, extra motors to build for display. Interior, tires. Funny thing is, they give you 2 different sets of rims, but 2 of the rims are quite obvious for like slicks or really wide rear tires, and they only give you 4 tires in here, 4 bias ply looking no name brand tires. So I'm not sure why they bothered to give you that. I mean, well, I know why it's in there. It's because it's another kit. Then they just didn't want to, fiddle with the molds and just give you what parts you need. Anyhow, back to the instructions. Throwing on the chassis and the wheels, the engine pops in, you pop over to the back, and you've got your final assemblies. You get to pick which ones you want to do, and then it tells you where to put the decals. And another thing they show you down here, they tell you to put a Hemi badge decal here on the side, which doesn't exist on the decal sheet. That's the only thing I noticed on there for sure. So it's kind of like a half-assed kit in a way. So let's take a look at that chrome tree. So what you got here is basically stuff for a regular Charger. You got the grill and assembly here. There's the rear bumper. Here's those rims that are, deep. Here's, I guess, the stock ones here, I'm assuming. You got some chromed up engine parts on there. And a couple other pieces. clear parts. You get a front and back window and 2 red taillights. That's it. 4 tires, like I was just talking about. They are hollow, squishy, no name, and a metal axle for the rear. Let's get the orange parts out here. It's only about 80 parts in this kit, so it's not like there's a whole lot to it. I guess everything else would be detailing. So you got here's your engine and headers and stuff like that. This looks like radiator and some of the Daytona parts. There's like for the that big spoiler in the back there. Got some bucket seats and some one-piece rear axle and exhaust there, firewall. Some wheel backs, some engine parts. I think that's maybe a center console there. And you got your hood, dash, some other parts for the engine, hood scoop if you want, for custom, and then the nose cone for the Daytona. And the last thing in there is this, which is the body, interior. Actually, there's quite a bit of detail in there. I don't know how much it actually needs to get detailed up. And here's a lot of flash on this chassis pan here. A lot of detail too, but... And lastly, you got the body. I mean, it looks okay. It looks like it's going to need some cleaning up for sure. So, anyway, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is the General Lee. Just repackaged with some extra parts. And I'm crossing my fingers. So wish me luck. We should be back with an update. Hopefully I won't be swearing and, you know, taking a hammer to it. But that's the Daytona by MPC. Stay tuned. Hey, a little early update here. Just wanted to pop this in. I haven't even really started on the model yet, except for, you know, putting together sub-assemblies like the engine. Actually, that's about all there is. And this wing. And I put the wing on. I mean, I glued the wing together and I put it on, and I don't know, to me, kind of hard to just let it sit on there, but because it's angled. But to me, it looks a little crooked. Not sure how that's showing up on the camera. See, it's not going to stay very well. So that's going to take a little bit of finagling. This is going to be a nightmare, I can tell right now. The hood fits good, but when you go to put this thing on, and I'm going to put this thing on before I paint it, I mean, the fit on this is atrocious. I mean, it's like, who in the world designed this thing to go on here? I'll take the hood out of the way, because like maybe I can hold it here and show you. But it kind of hooks up like, well, roughly... See, I could barely even hold it in place here. That's how badly it fits. Something like that. And then you have to put these... I got the wrong side here. Then you have to put these horrible little fender extensions on here, like this, and kind of get that to all fit together. I'm going to have to buy some putty. I never use putty, but there is no way in hell this thing is going to look even remotely acceptable unless I do a lot of body work to it. Didn't think I'd have to do body work to a model car. You know, maybe a car that's got a bunch of rust or in an accident, but a real car. But Jesus, I mean, this is disappointing to say the least. So, I mean, this was not a well thought out version of the Charger here. This is like a, hey, maybe we could just slap a couple parts on this and make another car out of it and people will buy it. So hopefully it'll turn out acceptable when I'm done, but that remains to be seen. So back to work. Probably not the last update you'll see on this before we're done, but I found another problem on the wheels. The front wheels come with these little pins that have to go inside here and come out the back, and that's how you attach the front wheels to the car. Well, unfortunately, you can see in here that top part, the head of that pin, sticks up well above the flat part of the inside of the rim. Well, that interferes with the back part of the outside rim, and as you can see on here, there's actually a raised portion as well. Well, not only does that interfere with the pin here, as you can see, that won't even remotely go into the bridge there where it fits together. But even without the pin, this thing won't fit 100% flush. You might be able to see that it's too high. So what you have to end up doing is sanding down approximately a half of the height of that head on this pin till it's flush with this part down here, the flat part. And then you also have to sand this flat as well for it to be able to all fit together. Great design there, MPC. Alright, so it's time for another update on this Daytona. Alright, so basically what I have done is everything except the body. I mean, there's not that many parts left. There's maybe about half a dozen or so parts, including, you know, the big body. But so here's the interior. I decided to go with black. It seemed like a lot of them were black, at least in the pictures I looked at, so I thought that was a safe choice. There's not a whole lot of detail in here, so I just kind of accented some parts with, you know, a silver gel pen and a couple of, like the steering wheel and the shifter and the console. I did some wood painting to make it look like wood. As far as the chassis goes, I decided to go with pretty much like body color on the bottom. I'm going to do it like an almond beige color. And I have not hooked up the exhaust to the headers yet. The only issue I had with this is the front wheels. Now, it gives you two options, like two holes. So like you can have like a lowered suspension or a supposedly stock suspension. So I put them both in the lower holes, and I tried the body, you know, on like, and it looked weird. It looked like it was like sitting up too high in the front. So I pulled them out. The glue hadn't quite set yet. I pulled them out, and I had to remount the top holes because the pins would not go all the way through the hole, and I had to drill them out and make sure they were big enough to to put the pins in, so you will run into that problem. And I don't think I had to cut the pins. Like, I don't think they were too long, but I definitely had to drill those holes out to make them fit. I thought about trimming the pins and putting them on, but then it would have had like a lot less pin, and it may have ended up getting a little too wobbly. But here's the engine all done. It's got one decal on it, which for some reason didn't want to sit too well, but it's on there. Not a whole lot of detail on this kit. Rims. But yeah, that was the only problem I ran into with this. It's got a metal rear axle. And I think they turn, yeah. There we go. Anyway, so then as far as what's left after that, I haven't even painted this yet. Well, you just saw it. There might be a couple of tiny little parts over there that I didn't bring with me, like, you know, trim pieces and tail lights and stuff like that. But as far as the body itself, this is all there is. So this is a nightmare, putting this front nose cone thing on. Now these things, I've been sanding and trimming, trying to get these things to fit on here some semblance of, you know, so it doesn't look like total crap. I'm getting there. I'm just doing a little at a time, trying to get this to fit. But it's going to be a lot of modification to get this to look halfway decent when it's done. And I mean, nothing has, you know, locating holes anywhere for, you know, where it goes. This was pain in the butt. Got to do putty and stuff on this, but I'd like to glue this on first, but then I realized it's going to be a different color because of the decal. So hopefully it'll stay on after. And as far as the hood, you can see that it fits pretty good. And I matched it up with the nose piece, so it should look decent when it's all put together. It's just a matter of getting this all filled in around where it connects to the body. It's just, I work on it for a few minutes and then I just put it aside because it's just frustrating. So anyway, that's where we sit at the moment. And well, unless I run into some other issue with this body, I really don't foresee any other necessary updates. So stay tuned for the final reveal, I'm going to say. Second or two to you since the last segment, but for me, it's been something like 6 months. That's how burnt out I was. The last segment you saw where I did the chassis on this and the interior here was July 26th of 2020. Today, to give you an idea, it's February 27th, 2021. But I'm back, and as you can see, I've got the body painted. I had a hell of a time with putty, trying to blend in these stupid extensions for the fender here. I started polishing the paint. Got a little bit left to do on it. It's still got a little bit of orange peel to it. I probably should have sanded it just a little more before I put that final coat on, but I thought maybe it would polish out, but most of it will. It's still light years better than some paint jobs that I've had. As far as the putty goes, I don't think I'm ever going to use this crap again. This is the classic Testors putty. Now, I have another tube of this that's literally, no lie, going on 40 years old. And it's still not dried out. And I thought, I've tried using it and it just didn't seem very friendly. Like, I don't know what other way to describe it. So I said, okay, it ain't that expensive. I'll buy another tube of it. I was like figuring it must be bad. This is the same. This is a brand new tube, and it works the same as the stuff in my tube, in my supply box that's 40 years old almost. That's pretty sad. I'm not exactly sure. I guess I have to look into... I don't do a lot of filling in with putty and stuff, but this definitely needed it. It's not horrible, but I mean, it almost looks like there was some rust on the car and somebody like put some Bondo on it and then painted over it. If that kind of gives you an idea. You'll see it better when we get to the end and I, do the turntable shot. But yeah, and I should have sanded off these Charger emblems that are molded into the seat pillars here, because they're pretty much almost blobbed out. There's no way to bring them out and without making it look like a big splotch of silver. So I think I'm just going to leave them. I'm not even going to bother trying to accentuate them, and maybe they just won't be as noticeable. So anyhow, so now, like I said, that part's done. This is all painted up. I don't think it looks too bad. I like the color. A little different. It's kind of an almond color. But I'm going to do some more polishing on it, and then I'm going to do the little fine touches like the moldings and stuff like that. And actually, there ain't a whole lot more left of it besides that. I got to paint the back part of it black. Back here where the taillights go. And yeah, I mean, I think most of the work's just going to be polishing out some of this orange peel. So we'll be back. And hopefully it won't be another 6 months. I don't think so. I think I'm kind of getting my groove back on the model, so they'll start coming regularly again after this one's done. So stay tuned.